Hey everyone, I'm Brian, and now as you know, every now and then I like to talk about certain shows that you may have heard of and you may not have heard of. Well, one of the shows I want to talk about was a show that debuted in 1977 by Hanna-Barbera. As a matter of fact, it was the first 2-hour block of animated programming, I think it was the very first one, I'm not sure. But the show I want to talk about is Laff-A-Lympics, originally known as Scooby's All-Star Laff-A-Lympics. Now you might ask yourself, what's Laff-A-Lympics? What show was that? Well, Laff-A-Lympics was basically like a parody and spoof on the original Olympics, or on the Olympics nowadays. And what I mean by that is that sometimes the events, they'd be similar or the same to what you see in the Olympics, but they'd also be a little bit of a out of this world. And what I mean by that is sometimes the events would have them racing to the moon, jogging, kind of racing to the moon, jogging on the moon, that sort of deal. But it would also have them visiting places like, say, Atlantis, and doing such events. And there would be such events that they would do that normally are not in Olympic stuff. Like they would be, paddling gondolas down the rivers of Venice. Things like that. Now the teams was three. Now, as far as the teams go, instead of being 50 or something countries like we have in the Olympics, there was 3 teams. One represented sort of a 50s, 60s era of Hanna-Barbera. The other represented the 70s, and one was just a team of villainous parodies or, early incarnations of villains that we now know. For example, one team was known as the Yogi Yahooies. They were captained by Yogi Bear and co-captained by Boo Boo. And that team consisted of Huckleberry Hound, Pixie and Dixie, Mr. Jinx, Hokey Wolf, Yacky Doodle, Quick Draw McGraw, Snooper, Blabber, Ogga Doggy, Daddy Doggy, Wally Gator, and from the Tom and Jerry show in the mid-70s, Grape Ape, who among some people should have been on the Scooby-Doobies team. But this team was mostly anamorphic characters. And the reason was I'll explain the reason in a little bit. And the last member of the team, believe it or not, was Cindy Bear. Now, the other team represented the 70s, which was the Scooby-Doobies. And they were mostly kind of a mixture of human, anamorphic, and kind of fictional characters. Their members were Scooby, Shaggy, Scooby-Dum, Dino-Mutt, Blue Falcon, Captain Caveman, the Teen Angels, Brenda, Dee Dee, and Tappy, Speed Buggy, Tinker, Hong Kong Phooey, and Babu. Those are the Scooby-Doo members. Now, the other team, which was sort of like I say a parody, in a mixture parody or kind of early incarnations of Hanna-Barbera antagonists that we know now, consisted of Mumbly, who was from the Tom and Jerry show and Grape Ape show. Oh, and I think early incarnation of Muttley. Dread Baron, who was an early incarnation of Dick Dastardly. The Dalton brothers, who appeared in Quick Draw McGraw and Huckleberry Hound. The Creeplies, who were a parody of the Gruesomes. A character by the name of the Great Fondue, Magic Rabbit, Daisy Mayhem, and Awful Octopus. Those were the really rottens. And basically they were a team that did anything they had to win. And most of the times they would get caught. Most of the times they'd get caught and get disqualified and lose points because of their dirty deeds. Now the show, like I said, began in 1977 and ran for 1 year because it only had 16 episodes. Believe it or not, it had 16 episodes, which kind of makes me wonder, why do I have more than 16 episodes? Anyway, getting back to what I'm saying. Well, actually, I don't have 16 episodes. I have 15 or 18. I don't know how many they had. But anyway, when it first aired, it was part, like I said, I don't know if I mentioned, but it was part of a 2-hour block of cartoons, which basically consisted of several segments. And this is how it went. You would have, basically you had like the Teen Angels leading up, Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels leading off the show. And they got spun into their own series later on. Then you had Scooby-Doo and Dynamite in between. Then you had Scooby-Doo and Dynamite kind of in between. And then you had the Laff-A-Lympics as well. So in other words, when the Teen Angels and Captain Caveman would come on, then you'd have Laff-A-Lympics. And then either when Scooby-Doo or Dynamite would come on for about 15 minutes, for a half hour, you'd have for 15 minutes, then you'd go to the other half of Laff-A-Lympics. You know, basically that's how it went. You know, like say 9:30 would be Laff-A-Lympics Part 1, 10:30 would be Laff-A-Lympics Part 2. That's how it went. Now the show aired on ABC, like I said, from the 70s into some of the 80s, and then later on went to Cartoon Network, went to USA Cartoon Express, and Cartoon Network into Boomerang. Now, during its run on Cartoon Network and Boomerang, now I don't know if they still do it on Boomerang, but they would do this every 4 years because of the Summer Olympics. Cartoon Network would air maybe an hour and a half or an hour or 2 hours worth of Laff-A-Lympics to kind of promote the Olympics, if you know what I mean. Now, the Laff-A-Lympics didn't just have, you know, those teams of characters that I mentioned. They also had guest star characters, like say the Flintstones and Barney, like Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble, who at the time also had some new shows, and Pebbles and Bam Bam, and the Flintstone Comedy Show, you know, things like that. They also had Jabba Jaw, who also had a show, guest star in there. But anyway, that was exactly what, you know, that's basically what, you know, Laff-A-Lympics was about. They were basically a parody of the Olympics, a spoof, and nowadays during the Summer Olympics, a promotional deal. Now the team that won the most was the Scooby-Doobies, obviously because it was once during the Scoobies also Laff-A-Lympics, and also during the Scooby-Doo era. But the Yogi Yahoos won at times, you know, being like the top team, I should say, and even the Rottens won, I think, in one episode. And then in the last episode, all three teams won the gold. So anyway, that's exactly what Laff-A-Lympics was about, like I said. You know, it's just basically a spoof. And it's a good show. As a matter of fact, someone sent me a couple of tapes of the Laff-A-Lympics, of the entire series they recorded, and I put it onto DVD. I even bought some of the VHS tapes that are out, or that were out as well. And I can hope they bring it out to DVD officially. But that's all I can say about the Laff-A-Lympics. I mean, besides the fact it was a great show, and if you haven't seen it yet, I suggest if you got Boomerang and you see it being broadcast, watch it. Or if you know anybody that has the show, watch it. Or if you know any websites out there that are airing the show, watch it as well. I guarantee you'll like it. And for those that know what I'm talking about, I'm glad you understand what I was talking about. And if I didn't make sense, I'm sorry. But that's all I can really say. And if you can't watch Laff-A-Lympics, go online to a place like milehighcomics.com. Search for it. They do got a comic out by Marvel Comics, and I guarantee you will like it. So until next time, I'm Brian Walmer saying thank you for listening. Sorry if I didn't make any sense at times. But until then, peace out, God bless you, and take care.